Welcome. I'm Kinetic Symphony. I hunt down and report on mysterious and weird true stories, from glitches to the paranormal. Case file number 356, written by CorrectCharge. The universe failing to load an object again. A few days ago, while I was organizing some stuff in my bedroom, something really strange happened. My dog likes to play by herself, dropping her rubber ball from my bed and jumping down to catch it so she can drop it again. While I was organizing some stuff, I saw what looked like her ball going past me faster than usual, as if she threw it. I thought it was kind of funny that it looked like she threw the ball, as it usually doesn't go far, so I just chuckled at her and tried to find the ball. I looked everywhere and couldn't find it. My bedroom doesn't have any place the ball could have hidden, as it's not large, and none of the furniture has legs or cracks where the ball could go through. Eventually, I gave up and thought maybe it was just something else in the corner of my eye. I was still a little weirded out, but forgot about it. Today I wanted to play with her and asked my girlfriend if she saw the ball, and she said she was looking for it too and couldn't find it. Then I remembered what had happened in my bedroom and got a little freaked out. I live in a medium/small sized apartment, so things are not hard to find. I can find all her other toys. That ball is her favorite toy, and I haven't seen her with it since then too. I decided to Google to see if anyone has had a similar experience with stuff just vanishing out of thin air, and came across a few results about DOP, or disappearing object phenomena. I'm usually very skeptical about anything out of the ordinary. I'm not religious in the slightest or anything, but I wanted to share this because this thing is driving me crazy. Case notes. DOP is my favorite glitch at this point. It's the only thing that happened to me, with a ball as well, although not with a pet involved. But we can just chalk this up to yet another example of disappearing object phenomena. There must be hundreds of thousands of examples to point to. Quite the dataset. Keep in mind, however, sometimes the object returns. I hope you're lucky, and your pet too. Case file number 357, written by Random Lady 91. Objects don't always disappear. Sometimes they just want a new view and relocate. 7 years ago, I packed a few of my daughter's baby clothes in a Walmart blanket set bag and wrapped that in brown paper and wrote her name on it. We were moving soon and army movers sucked, so I wanted to be sure none of our important things were lost and packed separately. Unfortunately, that box never made it to our next home and I was absolutely devastated. Yesterday, my mom texted me a photo of a baby blanket with Fort Leonard wood on it, my daughter's, along with a blanket I had used with my son and hated and thrown away. My daughter's blanket was from Missouri and got lost in transit to Arizona. My son was born in Colorado Springs, Colorado. Colorado was the next move after Arizona, so while both blankets had existed in Missouri, the hated one was never in the lost box and got thrown away in the move from Colorado to Georgia. I have no idea how the box got in my mother's garage under boxes that had been there for years. I haven't seen her baby blanket in 7 years since that first move. Both blankets were also found in different boxes. The hospital blanket was found in my brother's baby things, a box that hasn't been packed or unpacked in 15-ish years. And the blanket I hate was found in my baby stuff, which was packed in probably about 20 years ago. Case file number 358, written by SickBoylol. His buddy was in 2 places at once, but didn't realize it. Okay, hear me out. I have experienced what you could call glitches in the Matrix throughout my whole life, sometimes years and years apart, usually something minor and nothing of 100% certainty. So here's my story. A few guys in work got interested in paranormal, glitches, quantum weirdness, etc. And we were discussing things daily, swapping stories and researching on YouTube. It was on my mind constantly and I was actively looking for weird things throughout the day. And then it happened. We work on refurbishing trains, and my team were all on the roof of the train working. At roof level, there is a platform either side the length of the train, with stair access down to ground level. I made my way down alone, inside the train compartment, where passengers would sit to carry out a small job that needed doing. As I am working, I see a coworker called Dave walking towards me down the train compartment. I said, "I'm doing the HVAC now, mate." And he responded, "I've already done it." This wasn't a corner of the eye or a shadow. It was him, fully formed, real as could be, and I was looking at him the whole time. I glanced away for a second and looked back, and he was gone. This chilled me to the core, and it felt like I had been hit with a hammer to the chest. I immediately made my way back up to the roof to see Dave working away, unaware of what had just happened. I asked him, "Have you been inside tonight?" And he replied, "Nope." Now, glitches were embedded into my brain, and they kept occurring. Items going missing, people randomly appearing with no explanation, extremely unlikely events happening like unbelievable odds when throwing or dropping things. This kept happening for a week or so, and then just stopped. I tried to make sense of it all individually and as a collective, but I cannot explain it all away. The more I thought about glitches happening, the more they happened. It felt like I was decoupling from reality. I now try not to focus or obsess too much about things anymore, for fear of going too deep and losing my mind, or getting stuck in a place I don't want to be. Case file number 359, written by thebigN. You'd think you were crazy too if you saw your dad, and he was never there. I think I had my first glitch last night, and I'm not sure what to make of it. Just for information's sake, I'm 26 and my brother is 24. I've been staying with my dad for a couple of weeks because he had a heart procedure done, and I wanted to make sure he recovered fully, and just wanted to be here in case anything else happened. There's been lots of unexplainable events that have happened in this house, as it's a house I lived in for 21 years. Here's how it went down. I was in the kitchen with my brother, who I'll call T. T and I were making something to eat, and I had left the water running in the sink, something that drives my dad nuts. So as I leave the sink and walk into the living room, I see my dad sitting in his recliner with his usual attire, which is sweatpants and a hoodie, along with his Tottenham robe, watching television. I mean, I literally was within inches of him, and I looked right at him. I walked back into the kitchen and T said, "You should probably turn the water off before Dad hears it and yells at you." And I responded, "What do you mean if he hears me? He's sitting right in the living room and he would have said something by now." We both went back into the living room and the recliner was empty and my dad's nowhere to be found. I'm completely confused. I was within inches of him. I looked right at him. Dad then proceeded to walk down the stairs and ask me and T what we were talking about. I told him that I had just seen him sitting in his recliner with his robe on, and he said, "I haven't had my robe on for a couple hours." My jaw could have bounced off the floor. I'm not sure what really happened, but I can say it has my head spinning still a day later. I've never experienced anything like this before. It was so surreal. Somebody please tell me I'm not crazy. Thanks for reading. Any insight, opinions, or just information in general would be greatly appreciated. Bonus file, written by Storm Clouds Gather. Hauntings in a 200-year-old home. I've lived in this house for pretty much my entire life with my parents, Nan, and brother. It's really old. This whole street was built like a couple hundred years ago, and it's really weird. Me and my brother are 90% sure it's actually haunted at this point. Our parents and Nan think we're nuts. But honestly, the houses around here are so old I'm surprised they're not all haunted. My brother says he hears kids' voices at night sometimes. He thinks he's hearing a few really little kids and it's always been the exact same few voices. And he's been hearing them for more than 10 years, so it's probably not just neighbors talking or a TV or something. He's never been able to hear them very well. So he's only ever caught a couple of words. He says he's heard the words willow, country, downstairs, and the name Betty really clearly in kids' voices. He's also heard a woman's voice say, "Thomas," once. My room will sometimes randomly have this horrible chemical smell, like it smells like paint thinner or something. We've never been able to figure out where the smell is coming from. A few years ago, my parents even caught the carpet pulled up partly, because they thought the smell was in the carpet, but also because the carpet had a bunch of stains on it. I was a messy kid. And nope, it didn't get rid of the smell. We also smell smoke sometimes, when there's really no reason to be smelling smoke. No one's cooking anything, there's no candles, nothing that explains the smell. The smoke alarms even go off sometimes. They've all been replaced and they still do it, so it doesn't seem like a problem with the actual alarms. Occasionally, there's also a gross burning smell, like burning rubber or something. We wouldn't have connected the smells to anything paranormal, except we always get this weird, uncomfy feeling like something isn't right, and it's the same feeling my brother gets when he hears the voices. Last night, I was smelling the burning smell and the smoke, and my smoke alarm went off. I opened my door to let my mom in because she was carrying the stepladder, and behind her, I saw a pregnant woman in a long, old-fashioned dress kneeling on the floor with her hands over her face. I only saw her for a split second, but it was so clear. I also got this really sad feeling. I think she was crying or something, and I just felt so sad for her and kind of scared for her. Edit. Probably should have mentioned that my parents and my nan don't believe it's a ghost thing and think it's an old house thing. So they've been getting all kinds of professionals to check the wiring, check for gas leaks, check in the roof. They even paid for the neighbors to get their wiring and stuff checked in case it was a problem in their places. Terraced houses, you know. And nope, nothing wrong anywhere.